the Department of Homeland Security. I'm joined by Acting ICE Director Todd Lyons and Madison Sheehan, the Deputy Director. Thank you for joining us to address a diplomatic and military security operation that was conducted yesterday by the U.S. government. We conducted a deportation flight from Texas to remove some of the most barbaric, violent individuals illegally in the United States. No country on earth wanted to accept them because their crimes are so uniquely monstrous and barbaric. These heinous individuals have terrorized American streets for too long. Every single one of them was convicted of a heinous crime: murder, rape, child rape, rape of a mentally and physically handicapped victim. Thanks to the courageous work of the State Department and ICE and the President's National Security Team, we found a nation that was willing to accept custody of these vicious illegal aliens. We are removing these convicted criminals from American soil so they can never hurt another American victim, American man, child, or woman. They can never attack witnesses, families, victims, or anyone else. Now, a local judge in Massachusetts is trying to force the United States to bring back these uniquely barbaric monsters who present a clear and present threat to the safety of the American people and American victims. While we are fully compliant with the law and court orders, it is absolutely absurd for a district judge to try to dictate the foreign policy and national security of the United States of America. These are the monsters that the district judge is trying to protect. The contrast is brutally stark. President Trump and Secretary Noem are working every single day to get these vicious criminals off of American streets. And while activist judges are on the other side fighting to get them back onto United States soil. Before I turn it over to Acting Director Todd Lyons, I would like to remind the journalists in this very room to do your job. We gave you the names of these monsters as you have right in front of you. Now tell the stories of the innocent Americans who they victimized. I implore you to stop doing the bidding of these disgusting individuals. Tell the stories of the innocents. It's the American victims who actually matter. Todd.
Good morning, thank you. So these individuals that are up here today, these represent the true national security threats and public safety threats that ICE officers and agents nationwide go after. I just want to go over a few of the highlighted cases that you all have in front of you. So for instance, we have an individual that's convicted of homicide and armed robbery and served 15 years in confinement. Due to countries that won't take their citizens back, this individual was released back into the community under ICE supervision to prey upon people again. Another individual sentenced to life in confinement, convicted of first-degree murder. His country would not take him back, forcing ICE to have to re-release him back into the community to re-offend. As Tricia highlighted before, we have an individual that raped and sexually assaulted a mentally handicapped victim. Because his country would not take him back, ICE had to find a third country to take him back so we can remove this public safety threat. You know, as a career law enforcement officer and a career officer with ICE, I've been dealing with these recalcitrant countries for years, having to see repeated murderers, sex offenders, violent criminals re-released back into the United States because their home countries would not take them back. Yet under President Trump and under the leadership of Secretary Noem, we are now able to remove these public safety threats so they won't pry on the community anymore and they won't have any more victims in the United States. With that, I'll turn it over to my Deputy Director, Madison Sheehan.
First of all, ICE would like to thank President Trump and Secretary Noem for their steadfast commitment to the American people and the men and women of ICE. Our commitment here at ICE remains the same, that we will remove the worst of the worst from your communities, including the list of people that are up on this board. As we work every day to make the American people safer, we see activist judges stepping in a way that we have never seen before to put criminals first and not the American people. This judge wants these criminals, these rapists, murderers, out on the streets in your communities. ICE will not let that happen and will continue to fight and put the American people first as the mandate President Trump received to make sure that we keep America safe. Thank you.
Thank you, Madison. And with that, we'll take just a few questions. Say your name and outlet, Ted.
Ted Hesson with Reuters. Can you clarify, are these 8 people that you are trying to deport to Sudan or South Sudan? And if so,
why South Sudan? Where are they now? And are these the only 8 on the flight, and are there others?
These are the only 8 on the flight. Because of safety and operational security, we cannot tell you what the final destination for these individuals will be. Brittany, Axios?
The judge asked that you keep these individuals in U.S. custody once this flight lands. Is that being followed through? Has the flight landed yet? Do they remain on the plane, essentially?
They're still in DHS custody as far as their exact whereabouts, again, because of operational security, and given these are such violent criminals, rapists, child rapists, as I've mentioned, we cannot disclose that.
One more follow-up on recalcitrant countries. As you're looking for these third countries, can you just elaborate on how you're working with the State Department to identify these potential partners, and what other countries are on the list? Obviously, El Salvador, potentially South Sudan, a few others have been floated. Could you just clarify that?
Yes, State Department has been a fantastic partner and brokering these agreements, again, especially when it comes to truly the worst of the worst individuals, countries that did not want to accept these heinous individuals. We're grateful that we found a nation through the State Department to do that. Todd, would you like to speak further to these?
No, I would just like to say that, these individuals did receive due process. The Safe Third Country Agreement is in the Immigration Nationality Act, which was enacted by Congress. So as I said, as throughout my career with ICE and being a career law enforcement officer in immigration, we've dealt with these recalcitrant countries for years. And I would just say that through the partnership with the State Department, with Secretary Rubio, and under Secretary Noem's leadership and vision, we're able to do this under this administration to remove these public safety threats. And I would just like to take the time to thank, the men and women of ICE who put their lives on the line every day, the officers of our special response teams and our high-risk teams that do transportation of these individuals. These are the most violent people that are in the U.S. These are the ones that you don't want in your community. These are the ones that we prioritize every day. So again, under those partnerships, we're able to go ahead and remove these public safety threats from the community.
Julia?
Thank you. Could you talk more about the agreement with South Sudan? Once these people were going to arrive there, was the agreement that they would be incarcerated, much like the CCOT prison conditions in El Salvador? And were each of their home countries actually notified? In other words, did you try to send them back to their home countries before you made this decision?
Yeah, I would caution you to make the assumption that their final destination is South Sudan. As far as that agreement goes, I would definitely refer you to the State Department's for specifics, but perhaps Madison or Todd, you'd like to add something here?
So sure, yes, I can say that their home countries did refuse to take these individuals back. ICE is bound by Zavidas, which is a Supreme Court decision. Again, I've always said ICE detention isn't punitive. We detain and remove. After 6 months or 180 days, if we don't have a country that'll take their citizens back, we do have an option to find a safe third country. And in all these cases, these individuals were from countries that were recalcitrant or had impediments or life sentences that led to them not being able to remove to their home nation. So for that, ICE would go ahead and follow the laws enacted by Congress to find a safe third country.
South Sudan is considered a safe third country?
So I can't talk as far as the State Department and agreements made at this administration as far as where this final destination is for these individuals. So again, I refer you to State Department.
I think we'll take one more. Priscilla?
Thank you. In a court declaration yesterday evening, one of the attorneys said that when she reached out about her Burmese client, that she was told by an officer that it was South Sudan. So can you confirm that it is one of the countries, at the very least, that you are working with to accept these nationals, and anything more that you can share about the process by which immigrants in detention are being notified if they're going to be sent to a third country and what that looks like?
Yeah, absolutely. We are following due process under the U.S. Constitution. These individuals have been given, and their lawyers have been given plenty of prior notice as far as those actual agreements. We can get back to you with more information from the State Department. Todd, anything to add there?
No, I would just say the same thing that, ICE, we do follow the current laws and restrictions that do bar us by safe third countries. And I would just say that I would refer you to the State Department, not necessarily on any final destination that these individuals may not be going to, but State Department has a multitude of countries that they are working with for safe third countries. So I'll refer you back to State Department.
Just one quick question. You're saying to not conclude that they're going to South Sudan. DHS is streaming this press conference right now.
Sure.
With the headline that says DHS press conference on migrant flight to South Sudan.
Sure.
So is the department then confirming that this flight is going to South Sudan?
We're confirming the fact that that's not their final destination. So, I mean, we have deportation flights that logistically move internally domestically within the United States. That doesn't mean that their last stop is internally within the interior of our country. So, absolutely not. But before we leave, you'll note that I have not we gave you the names of these heinous individuals, but we didn't say them out loud. But what we should be saying out loud is the name of the American victims, these people who they've victimized. And I've rarely seen anyone in our press corps actually write about American victims. So I would encourage you, I would implore you to start writing about Americans and not just doing the bidding of these disgusting individuals. Thank you for your time today, and we'll see you next time.
Can you just clarify, has a flight?
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.